Hello everyone, this is Alfie and you're watching Road to the Warzone episode 18, Painting Capital Light Infantry. Yeah. So, how's your summer going? I hope it's going alright. Things are a little bit quiet on my end, but that means that I can get some minutes painted. Okay, so in this episode we're going to see how I painted the one squad of Capital Light Infantry. I decided not to paint them before because for the demo games that I'm going to be doing in shops and playing areas and all that, to make the game known. For people who are not familiar with the minis, I thought it could be interesting for them to see the minis unpainted, so they could see the resin, which is not as popular or common as plastic miniatures and all that. So I decided to leave them there. But for a change of pace, as I still have a lot of Mishiman minis to paint, just to change things up a bit, we'll see the Capitolians. Right, so let's get started with our light infantry. So before we start, quick forward. What I've done, first of all, I've taken a squad of Capital Light Infantry. I've primed it black with the airbrush, and then I've sprayed a little bit of white, with the airbrush from the top to simulate the light coming from, obviously, from the top. Okay, very very lightly, not to overdo it. Okay, and that's all 5 of them. Right, so what I want to do now is airbrush the armor. Okay, color the armor. So what I have is, I've mixed here. Well, actually, I use model color. Okay, you shouldn't really use model color for airbrushing because it's too thick. It's just too thick. It's not thin enough for the airbrush. But what I do is I actually mix, well, in this case, 10 drops of the color was Russian uniform. Okay. To 8 parts of distilled water, to 5 parts of airbrush flow improver, to approximately 3 or 4 drops of airbrush. Okay, that way I get the consistency that that allows me to work with the airbrush, because my compressor has very little pressure. Okay, okay. So let's see what happens. Right, so here are my little Capitolians. Okay, so what I've done is I've airbrushed the base coat on, ironically, Russian uniform. Okay, especially for the bit with armor. Okay, and well, since I had time, I've also done the flesh. Okay. Their faces and all that. Okay, so what I want to do next is the backpacks. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bit of wet blending. Okay, so I'm going to mix flat earth to ochre, yellow ochre, with a bit of glaze, and I'll go for the darker bit in flat earth, the lighter bit in a mixture of ochre and flat earth, and then with a damp brush just blend it, okay, so that it creates a transition. It's the same as I did with Cycle. Okay, click on the link to see the video. All right, so let's get going. Okay, so as you can see, here's the backpacks painted, okay, and I hope you can appreciate the transition. Okay, showing one. Okay, now with these guys, it's all about contrast and detail, so that they look, like a block of color. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dare I say, enrich the trousers, okay, with a bit of American. Okay, that's. That was a mistake. Okay, American uniform, as you can see, it's barely noticeable, it's barely any different. Okay, I don't even know if you can tell. So, okay, plan B. I'll have to use even a darker green, or go brown, like the backpacks. I don't know which one would make the biggest contrast. I don't want to follow the scheme in the box. This is just the scheme in the box. And go brown, but don't know. I think it's going to be necessary. Right, I'm going to try flat earth. Not convinced actually. It's nice in terms of contrast. It adds a nice bit of contrast, but at the same time, it's too similar to the backpack. Okay, I'll carry on painting and see what I decide. Don't know what to think, to be honest. It's alright. I would need another layer, of course, but you know, I think it's more of an imperial color. A color for imperial, for the trenches and all that. So no, I don't think I'm going to go for that either. Okay, so I'm in a bit of a pickle here. The only option I have left really is dark German uniform. Okay, so we'll try with that. Right, so I couldn't make up my mind, so I just happened to think, well, these guys are from Mars, so, but not that it makes much more sense, but you know, but maybe the camo trousers should be the color of Mars. Okay, so I decided to use this paint, burnt sienna, that I'm using for anything to do with Martian terrain. Okay, and well, I'm not 100% happy with the result. They look like a different unit. Really, they don't really look like light infantry. They could be confused with maybe, say, Martian banshees or something like that. However, I think, you know, as the paint, you know, as I thin down the paint quite a lot, you can see it's only the first coat. The green shines through. Okay, you can see the green underneath. So I'm thinking, maybe with a very dark green wash, you know, that will create a very interesting, you know, sort of like a camo pattern. So yeah, I think that could be very interesting. So we'll see what comes up. Okay, but yeah, okay, it's different. Okay, I'm not unhappy with the result. Right, now what I'm going to do is the machine guns. So I'm going to use gunmetal grey, and for the highlighted bits, silver, and then I'll blend it. Well, as you can see, we have another bit of a failure here. I don't know what I've done wrong, but as you can see, the crackle medium hasn't crackled. Okay, it hasn't done anything on the basis. Okay, so at this point, I think very simply, I think the quickest solution is just forget about the crackle and just mix a little bit of sand and the burnt sienna, the lighter burnt sienna color, and then just paint over it. Okay, so I'll do that now. Right, so that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and well, I haven't quite finished, completely finished the miniatures. You know, I still need to varnish them and, you know, to paint the rim of the base in medium blue. Okay, like, you know, to mark well, first of all the faction blue capital, and second the front facing and rear facing. But you know, anyway, you get a very close idea to what they're going to look like. Okay, so as per usual, thank you very much for watching. Please give us a like, subscribe, share. Let's expand this community. And for the next video, I think I'm going to paint either Hamza Kitaro from Mishima, or either Lieutenant Masaru. One of the two. I have pretty good ideas for both. Until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you.